You think you've seen it all, but Corrie is about to prove you wrong again. Face screaming in fear. Welcome to today's spoiler update. Coronation Street spoilers for next week indicate that there will be a lot of action on the cobbles. Carl Webster will find himself in a terrifying gunfight at the garage, and secrets and suspicions will continue to grow elsewhere in Weatherfield. 1. Brody's night out turns nasty before surprise rescue. Betsy, Brody, Dylan and other lad at precinct in Coronation Street. Sean refuses to serve Brody, Dylan and Betsy in the Rovers, prompting them to head to the precinct instead. But the evening quickly takes a dark turn when they are confronted by 3 lads demanding their cans. Before running away on his own, Brody Michaelis tells Dylan and Betsy to run, and the troublemakers follow him. In Coronation Street, Betsy, Brody, and Dylan are confronted by 2 boys just as things appear to be getting worse. Dylan is saved after running into Debbie, Sally, Bernie, Glenda, and Christina, who manage to scare the gang off. When Dev and Tim realize they have not spoken to their wives since returning to the pub, they become increasingly concerned, and tensions begin to rise. 2. Betsy tells Lauren that she has been offered a place at the London College of Fashion. She is torn about leaving Dylan behind, and she is unsure how he will react to the news. Betsy smiles with Lisa and Carla after receiving the fashion offer. She also admits she has not yet told her mum. In Coronation Street, Betsy is smiling with Lisa and Carla. At some point, Betsy finds her composure and makes the offer to Lisa and Carla. Lisa's reaction is more measured as the reality of the decision begins to sink in, while Carla is thrilled for her. 3. Sally, Glenda, and Christina set off in high spirits with their cases packed, believing everything is going smoothly after Ronnie confirms that plans are on track, despite questions remaining about what he is really up to. Carl and Fiona talking at the hotel in Coronation Street. Party plans unravel as Carl's secret sparks a showdown. Talking at the hotel with Carl, Debbie, and Fiona, the trip quickly turns chaotic when Sally, Bernie, Glenda, and Christina wake up with hangovers. Debbie tries to get in touch with Ronnie, Christina ends a phone call quietly, and Glenda tells the group to turn off their phones and enjoy the break. Carl, Kevin and Ronnie serious at the garage back on the street. Tensions explode when Kevin discovers footage revealing Carl sabotaging his car brakes. He storms over to confront him, only to realize Tyrone and Ronnie were aware of what happened. As Kevin loses control and moves towards Carl with a wrench, Carl shocks everyone by producing a gun he has obtained from Fiona, turning the confrontation into something far more dangerous. 4. Coronation Street spoilers show Carl Webster pointing a gun in the garage, where the men are left staring at the weapon, which escalates the situation. Ronnie insists that no one will leave until the situation is resolved. Kevin refuses to believe the gun is real and grabs it, pointing it directly at Carl, leaving Ronnie horrified. Kevin and Ronnie fighting over a gun in Coronation Street while Ronnie tries to wrestle it away. The gun goes off suddenly, sending shockwaves through everyone in the room and causing panic to take hold. 5. Debbie's trauma. Debbie and Ryan smiling with clients. Debbie is left shaken after waking from a nightmare replaying the terrifying events at the garage. Her day goes from bad to worse when she clashes with Tracy over a flower order, with Tracy cruelly blaming Debbie's dementia for the mistake. Debbie, Ryan and Tracy awkward in Coronation Street hotel overwhelmed. Debbie later accidentally reveals the baby's sex at a gender reveal party after spotting it on the balloon order. But chaos erupts when a balloon pops, triggering her trauma and making her fear it is another gunshot, leaving her panicked and distressed. 6. Maria's suspicions flare as Gary and Sarah spark awkward questions. Gary comforting Sarah in Coronation Street. Maria is thrown when she sees Gary and Sarah sharing a hug, just as Gary insists on deleting their messages. Unable to ignore it, she starts to suspect something is going on. She confides in Fizz and Izzy, voicing her growing fear that Gary could be having an affair with Sarah. Maria lurking in Coronation Street at the same time, Todd surprises Sarah by announcing that Maria believes she and Gary are involved in secret. Later, Maria confronts Gary and asks for a serious chat. Gary plays it cool and suggests that they sort it out over curry later, trying to keep things calm. 7. Kit's big marriage plan in Coronation Street spoilers. Kit and Bethany talking. Kit confides in Bethany that he is considering proposing to Sarah, unsure how she will react. Elsewhere, Harry admits he is enjoying having Kit around, with Kit reassuring him the feeling is mutual. Izzy, Jake, and Liam are overjoyed when Gary later makes the announcement that he has booked a family vacation. However, Maria remains unconvinced and her suspicions deepen. Talking to Kit and Bethany, She tells Izzy that she thinks Gary might be cheating on her with Sarah and that the holiday might be an effort to make him feel better. In the meantime, Kit can be seen looking excitedly at the engagement ring he bought for Sarah. 8. Sam's breakdown leaves Nick pointing fingers in emotional fallout. Toya, Leanne and Nick at the hospital. Nick is left distraught as he waits for updates on Sam and quickly turns his anger towards Ben and Eva, convinced Megan's court case has triggered his son's distress. However, he is forced to confront the reality of Sam's suffering and begins to see the situation differently. Nick, Toya, and Leanne at the hospital in Coronation Street. Nick then blames Ben for not finding out about Megan's crime sooner because he thinks it would have saved Sam more pain. As emotions run high, Sam's family rally around him, and he quietly tells Nick that he would like to see Roy. Fans of Coronation Street have been suspicious of Sarah Platt and Gary Windass for a few weeks now, and tonight's episode proved that they are concealing something significant. Since the beginning of Theo Silverton's murder investigation, Gary has been at odds with DC Kit Green, who has identified Gary as his primary suspect. In the current episode, Gary was questioned by Kit regarding Todd Grimshaw's lost phone, which had been discovered in a pawn shop and covered in the fingerprints of Brody Michaelis. With Brody having admitted that he found it in the skip outside the builder's yard, Kit turned his attention back to Gary, though he was easily able to explain things away. That didn't deter Kit, though, and when Sarah overheard him discussing his suspicions with DS Lisa Connorswain over the phone, she set up a meeting with Gary immediately. During their covert meeting, it became clear that Sarah and Gary know something, though it's unclear whether it has anything to do with Theo's murder. Sarah had to hide, and Gary had to figure out a way to get Maria Connor out of the apartment before they could get too far into their conversation. Maria Connor had just returned home, and they were startled. It was clear that whatever the pair of them are hiding has taken its toll on Gary, who admitted to Sarah that he doesn't know how much more he can take, and that he can't do this anymore. After persuading her to join him for dinner at the Rovers, Gary was in the pub when Todd arrived and told Kit that Summer Spellman, who is awaiting trial for Theo's murder, had been hospitalized. Gary rushed outside for air. What can't he do? He seemed to feel guilty about what Summer is going through, so could he have had something to do with the murder after all? Could he and Sarah be covering for each other? Or is there something else going on? Could Gary be set to put an end to whatever they're hiding? Coronation Street icon Claire Sweeney has opened up about filming her final scenes in the ITV soap and her character's explosive exit. Claire joined the cast back in 2023 as Cassie Plummer, the estranged mum of Tyrone Dobbs and daughter of Evelyn Plummer. Since then, Cassie has been at the center of some huge storylines in the soap, including her struggle with drug addiction, a poisoning plot involving Ken Barlow in an attempt to siphon money from him, and her relationship with Steve McDonald. However, during an interview with Ireland AM, the former Brookside star confirmed that she had already filmed her final scenes on the cobbles. The news that Claire would be leaving Corrie came earlier this year as she prepares to play Miss Hannigan in the upcoming stage tour of Annie. I didn't realize until my last day of filming how I actually felt. My job has always been so transient, she began. In theater, you do a job, and my current run lasts 9 months, which is a long time. Or it could be a 4-month run, and you love each other for that time, and you move on. Some people stick. Isn't it comparable to a train? People get on in your life, and the train moves on. She continued, Corrie, because I've been there 3 years, you know Alan Halsall has become part of the family. It was difficult to say goodbye to Simon Gregson, Kate Ford, Ellie, and the crew, who have all become like family. It was very, very emotional. Claire went on to say she felt very blessed and had been given the most wonderful exit storyline, adding that she couldn't have asked for better. Teasing what fans can expect, she said, I can say one word, explosive, before joking, that's just me on a night out in Dublin. Speaking to Digital Spy at a recent Corrie press event, producer Kate Brooks shared some information about Cassie's exit. The show features an appearance by Tyrone's father. Needless to say, he comes with quite a bit of drama. It's going to cause quite a lot of friction within that family, obviously, with Cassie's history, she said. As you know, Cassie is leaving us, so it will help her leave, which will be huge and quite explosive. It will include all of the unexpected turns that you have come to anticipate from an exit story.